Okay, so today we'll discuss about an essay writing in UPSC mains examination. This is a very important topic because often what happens is that people doesn't give that importance to the essay that they usually give to GS 1, 2, 3, and 4 papers. But then the essay is as important as any GS papers because it also carries a weightage of 250 marks. And not just that, why we have to focus on the essay is because it's a highly rewarding paper. So usually, high scoring individuals score like 180 marks out of this 250 in the essay papers. And last year's toppers scored around 134 marks in the essay. So if you see, an average marks in the GS examination goes anywhere between 80 to 110. So obviously, if you compare the average marks in a GS 1, 2, 3, and 4 paper with that of an essay paper, definitely you'll understand the importance of an essay. So there are two aspects. First of all, it's a deciding factor when it comes to deciding your rank. Secondly, it's also a deciding factor whether you will make it to the interview or not. So on these aspects, an essay paper is very important. That's why I call it a deciding factor. Another important aspect when it comes to the essay is that you don't need an exclusive preparation. An exclusive preparation doesn't mean that you don't need any preparation at all. It doesn't mean so. No need of an exclusive preparation means whatever you prepare for GS 1 to 4, this much data you can use in the essay paper as well, but in a different way. I'll explain about that. And that's why I mean there is no need for an exclusive preparation when it comes to the essay. So now, having said that, we should understand what exactly is the difference between GS 1, 2, 3, 4 papers and an essay paper. What is the difference in writing an answer? Obviously, first of all, in GS 1, 2, 3, and 4 papers, there will be 20 questions or 20. In GS 4, there are more than 19 questions. And each one carries a mark of 20 or 15, 15 or 10 marks. When you come to the essay, the whole essay, what you have to do is you'll have to write 2 essays, each one of 1500 words each, and each one will carry 125 marks. That means on any given topic, you should be able to write 6 full pages and 12 sides of a paper. So then by now you definitely understand that it's not very easy for any individual to write on a specific topic that much, write on that much length on a specific topic without having the subject knowledge or without having the knowledge about the given topic itself. So that's the very important thing. That's why I have expand the given topic in multiple dimensions. There will not be any question in the essay. Usually what they do is they give a statement in the essay paper. And these days, and for the last 3 or 4 years, what we see is they give the philosophical topics or philosophical statements. Now you have to expand that philosophical statement in multiple directions with an analytical bent of mind and write 6 full pages of stuff. This is the challenge. Now we need to have that much content. That's the main part. Secondly, in a GS paper, when you're getting a GS paper, what you usually do is you probably split the question into multiple parts and address each part of the question separately. Let's say, for example, if in a GS3 paper, they ask about the Naxalism or something like that, or the government policies of Naxalism or something like that. So what you basically do is you basically write about the red corridor areas or Naxal affected areas. Then you discuss the government policy. What is the government policy regarding the Naxal affected areas? Then you probably discuss the way forward or what we should do in future. So like you split the question into multiple parts and then you address it separately. So each portion will be allocated marks based on the weightage of the the question. This is not happening when it comes to an essay. In an essay, the topic will be given. You have to take the topic as a whole, not in part. This is the major challenge. And while you do so, you should not afford to do it in a bumpy manner, in the sense that your essay should not be like traveling in a bumpy roads. It should have a proper flow for this. Like the examiner will, when the examiner reads your essay from top to bottom, he should never feel that this is not fitting here or something like that. He should be getting a proper flow for the topic or the essay as such. That's why I have given the topic. Maintain a flow, a proper flow for the essay. Third thing is that obviously there is a human tendency to ignore that much of reading, because an examiner would be ideally be evaluating a lot of papers per day. So he would tend to skip and try to read the important things. But what he'll definitely read is the beginning and probably the ending as well. And that is why you have to always give a very dynamic or a dramatic or a catchy beginning. Probably we'll discuss more about these aspects in the coming essay classes. But just for the sake of approaching the essay, I'm saying all these points. Fourth point is that you should be able to include some quotes, some experience of people or common life experience that you observe in the society. All these aspects you have to incorporate in an essay and based on the context of the essay. So this is what I have to generally say about the requirement of an essay topic. Now I'll also discuss what is actually not needed in an essay, or what is not expected from you in an essay topic. So diametrically opposite to the points that we have discussed, I already pointed out that we need a lot of quotes, life experience, etc. But we should be very careful that you don't include a lot of static figures, articles, and government schemes in an essay. You may be using it quite a bit, like based on the context here and there, but your essay should not be filled with government schemes or constitution articles or things like that. That's why I have mentioned right in the beginning that you should be approaching an essay with an analytical bent of mind. Right. So even when you do this, even when you are expanding the essay in multiple dimensions, you cannot go off topic. You don't have to go off topic. You have to expand it in different ways, but always keep in mind what the essay is and what the topic is. So last year, when I was discussing with a friend of mine, he told me two things. First thing is the essay was about border management. They asked a question about the essay topic was border management. So after writing this, after coming back from the example, he told me that he forgot to write about the marine borders of India. Right away, I told him that was a big mistake. Border means every border, not just the land borders. So that's the first mistake that one has committed. He has not expanded the topic in diverse perspectives. Secondly, he also told me one more thing. He told me that halfway, like half an hour into an essay topic, he was clear that the essay is out of his hand, because he did not follow the topic of the essay thoroughly throughout the writing, throughout the half an hour, and in that process he somewhere diverted from the topic and wrote something else. Later he realized that these are things which are irrelevant to what is asked in the essay, so he got very less marks. These are usual mistakes that people commit. And as I said, do not jumble between ideas. Means when the examiner is reading an essay, he should not feel like he is traveling through a bumpy road. He should feel that this is like a smooth flow of a river or something like that. So generally, this much is what I need to talk to you about the essay as such. Now what we do is, whatever we have discussed so far, what to do and what not to do in an essay, we'll try to incorporate all this in a question, or we'll try with an example. This is an essay topic that was asked in the UPSC examination in 2020. I told you that these days UPSC is asking so much of philosophical stuff that last in 2021, both the topics were from the philosophy only. That means you should be equipped to write 2 essays on philosophical topics or general statements. They're not asking about women empowerment, or they're not asking about education, health, climate change, etc. But then in 2018, they asked about climate change. In 2020, they asked about education and all that, and skill development and all. So sometimes they ask one philosophical topic with a conventional topic, but during some years, both the topics are philosophical. So it should be ideally philosophical topics. People usually find it a little difficult to write essay on philosophical topics, and therefore, but that's why I told you that you should be equipped to write an essay on 2 essays on philosophical topics. This is the essay which was given in 2020. Life is a long journey between a human being and being humane. So obviously, first thing is that the question or the essay topic is asking you to differentiate. It's not a differentiate between human being and being humane. It says our life should be a progressive. I will interpret this essay topic in this, but in this way, in your own way. Our life should be a journey from being an animalistic existence to a higher existence where we are humane. A human being means nothing but the animal existence of being a human. But then the being humane means a human being with a lot of qualities, human being with qualities. We'll discuss what all these qualities are. So right from birth, at birth, we have a very animal existence. We don't know about the world. We don't know anything else. But as we progress, as the life progress, we have to become a human with humane values like compassion, empathy. We talk about a lot of human values in ethics, or sympathy and integrity. All these comes under the humane values. So this is what everybody probably will understand, that this is what they actually mean. Now the real question is, how do you actually expand this topic to write a 12-page essay? This is a question that I have personally attended in the UPSC exam in 2020. So what I did is, I started the essay in a very dramatic way. I started the essay with a story of Emperor Ashoka. Emperor Ashoka, a very sad Emperor Ashoka, sitting in the middle of the Kalinga battlefield, observing the numerous dead bodies around him. So suddenly he realizes that the pain that every individual feels, or the pain that every individual has, is the same. So he suddenly thinks about the relatives, other human beings, etc., etc. And that was like a transformation in his life. So from a king who was too much into the battlefield or wars, he became a king who promoted ahimsa. So from a human being, Ashoka was actually being transformed to a humane individual. Now this was my introduction. I expressed this in one paragraph, Ashoka's story. Like I expressed in a dramatic way, that Ashoka is sitting in the middle of the battlefield, very sad, and the sun is setting, and all these I have written. That was my first paragraph. That was my introduction. And thereafter, I started writing what I'm going to do with this essay. I gave an introduction to the evaluator, or an idea to the evaluator what I am going to do with the essay, what you will find in the essay. This is how I progressed after the introduction. So I told that I'm going to discuss the journey of an individual from being simply an animal called human to that of an animal with human qualities. So this is what you will find in my essay. And I also told that in the course of this essay, I will discuss what the difference between being humane and being a human, and also why this journey of transforming ourselves into the humane is very important. And then I'll discuss what are the roadblocks that we'll face to for a successful journey towards becoming a humane individual, and then how to address this, how to achieve this. I mean, how to successfully complete this journey, or what we can do as a society to facilitate the successful journey of an individual. So this is my. I'll just write it down for you. An introduction. As I said, introduction was on Ashoka. Secondly, a brief idea of what is there in my essay. Third is that why this journey is important. Why this journey is important. Then the roadblocks that we'll face. And finally, how to successfully complete the journey. Now, as you can see, this is the logical flow of my essay. I have, in the first 5 minutes, I made a logical flow for my essay. Now, my essay will be flowing like this. There will not be any deviation from it. What is the flow? I have started with an introduction and I have narrated what to expect from my essay. Second, then why this journey of human to humane is important. What are the roadblocks that we'll face and how to successfully complete this journey. This is the logical flow of my essay. Now, all these three aspects here, I will try to expand. This point, these 3 points, I'll have to expand into multiple dimensions. Now, I'll give you an overview of how I have expanded this points into different dimensions. So, in the second, after writing the second paragraph, what to expect from my essay, I started like this. We are all human beings. We are born as animals without having a consciousness about a society or without having an understanding or on anything. Then our process of socialization starts. And in this process of socialization, what happens is we imbibe a lot of values from the society. What happens when we imbibe these values from the society? We'll try to learn a socially acceptable behavior. Socially acceptable behavior. What happens next? What happens next is with a socially acceptable behavior, a lot of good qualities are instilled in the humans. And finally, we became humane individuals. What are these good qualities? The good qualities are some, let's say, respect for women, or let's say helping the needy, etc. etc. So this is what the essay is actually asking. This is my third paragraph. After writing what is to be expected from my essay and like the logical flow of my essay, I wrote a paragraph on this, that we are all born as animals and we undergo a process of socialization. In that process, we imbibe a lot of values and we learn the socially acceptable behavior that instill good qualities in humans, and we became humane. Fine. After that, now what my job is to expand that what I earlier told you, why this journey is important. That I have to expand in multiple dimensions. So I have to find out different themes to write in this section. Now you can come up with any number of points, 6 or 7 points, 5, 6 solid points would be really great. I have come up with, since I'm discussing an example here, I don't want to discuss a full essay from top to bottom. I'm giving you a framework of it. So I'll come up with the 2-3 dimensions of what I'll write in the essay. The first dimension is that being humane or a humaneness is not just for the sake of being a human, but it is also important for the whole planet. It means being humane for the whole planet. What will I write in this? Again, I'll write many points in this, not in a point form. I'll write in a paragraph format. And before that, what I wanted to say is that now that you have understood how to arrange a logical flow in this particular essay, and there are two approaches that people usually take. Sometimes people put headings, and sometimes they don't use heading. I've never used headings in the essay. So if you are not using the headings, whatever let's say being humane for the whole planet, I'll write in the as a point itself, like without putting it as a heading. So being humane for the whole planet. Why? Because humans involved in a lot of activities that are detrimental to other animals. There I can again expand it into different things like poaching or smuggling of animals, different things. Again, another point under the same heading, polluting the environment. And things like that. So now we have understood that I have first came up with a theme, and again under the themes, I have tried to expand it into different perspectives. Secondly, I'll come up with another theme, why this journey is important. The second theme is that being humane will solve a lot of problems of humans. Again, I'll try to expand this particular topic. What will I write here? Here I'll write about a lot of what will happen if we became more humane. We can speak about violence or at many places in the world. Different examples can be given, or you can speak about the patriarchal mindset of the society, and the crimes against the women will come here, where you can give a lot of examples. Or against children, you can give that as an example. Or likewise, I'll expand this particular theme into different aspects. Again, I can come up with another dimension like being humane will give greater happiness and well-being. What does it actually mean? Here also I can give a lot of perspectives. Like you see, being humane means you can speak about the joy of giving, or a joy of giving whatever excess that you have to the needy people, or showing compassion. Showing a compassion means it generates positive feelings inside you, and you get a positive pleasure out of you. You feel that your life is fulfilled, and you feel that your life has a purpose or a value, and that gives you in turn gives you a greater happiness, and in turn a greater well-being. This is what I want to discuss. Fine. Now that we have expanded the first part of the essay into different perspectives. The first part of the essay was why this journey is important. This idea that we have expanded into multiple, perspectives, multiple dimensions, and we are giving examples. You can even go give the quotes. When it comes to the example of violence, you can take the quote from, Gandhiji and all, or you can take the example when you are writing the example of violence against women. You can take the quote from any feminists and all that. The next point, what we have to do is we have to analyze the roadblocks in following this journey, and that also you have to expand it into multiple perspectives. So the next part of the essay was roadblocks that we face in fulfilling this journey, or or in traveling from being a simple human, or having simply an animal existence, to becoming more humane. There are different roadblocks. Again, you have to diversify this into different perspectives. What are the roadblocks actually you face? You can speak about certain societal norms, or you can speak about patriarchal mindset, or you can speak about the inequalities in the society, or inequalities itself. You can divide into social inequality, or political inequality, or economic inequality, and you can speak about different injustices in the society, for example, like custodial deaths, etc. So these are the roadblocks. Obviously, when you're facing a lot of injustice, when you're not being treated as equal with others, you definitely will have a negative sentiments in your mindset, and you will not probably be able to transform yourself into very human beings. The result is that, if in a very in a society which is full of injustices and inequalities, a lot of crimes happen, happiness vanishes, and in turn, all these things act as roadblocks uh, in a fulfilling journey from becoming from simply being a human to a humane life. So there you give a lot of examples in patriarchal mindset: controlling the sexuality of women, controlling the movement of women, not allowing them to work, and on all these you can write. In injustices, you can write another things: custodial rapes, or in inequalities, you can write about economic inequality. 57% of the wealth of the country is in the 1%, in the hands of 1% individuals. There are only 14% women representation in India, and social inequalities, you can say, of untouchability and all that things. So, or untouchability, forced labor, all these things, whatever from in whatever examples or whatever perspectives you want to, expand it, you can expand it. Fine. Again, this section of the essay is over. This will actually cover your 4 pages, the previous sections. So we have actually completed like 7 to 8 pages of your essay. Again, some part is left. Now we have spoken about the importance of the journey, the roadblocks that we face in the journey. Again, the next part, what we have to discuss is how to successfully complete this journey, or how to overcome these roadblocks, or how to overcome the roadblocks. How to overcome the roadblocks? Again, here you will have to discuss about the solutions actually. In the solutions, what do you discuss? In the solutions, you can discuss it. You can actually diversify the perspectives into multiple dimensions. For example, a fair political process. That's one thing. A fair political process means a democratic process where everybody gets a chance to vote. All these things, or everybody has the right to choose, right to an informed choice, make an informed choice or something. And next thing is a spiritual and and value education about being humane, why you should become humane and all that, and what is the importance of becoming humane, how it will transform your society. All this have to be taught to the children through value education. Again, another perspective is that critical analyzing capabilities of an individual or a questioning tendency you have to develop, so that the regressive social mindsets and things like that, you always keep on questioning and trying to reform such things. And finally, you can expand it into any number of perspectives that are relevant. I'll speak about the fact that becoming humane, or a journey from being a humane to becoming humane, is also a conflict with the self, because ultimately it's our own perceptions, our own egos, or our own cruelty that we have to overcome in becoming a very humane person. So likewise, after discussing this, how to overcome the roadblocks, you are in a position to probably conclude the essay. So sometimes people say that when you conclude the essay, you go back to the introduction, what you have written in the introduction, or the story that you have written in the introduction, and mention that story once again, so that the examiner will get a correct perspective that he has not drifted away from the topic. He has had the memory of what he has started with. Fine. So that's actually a good practice. I also did that. So in towards the end of the essay, I also concluded with Ashoka's story itself. I came back to the Ashoka's story and said that this is a meaningful transformation. We should learn about this and all these things. So this is about the whole thing about writing an essay. This was our first class. So we generally spoke about a few things regarding writing an essay. Hello. So what is the importance of an essay in a GS paper? We have discussed that, and then we have discussed what does the examiner look for in your essay, or what is the requirement that you have to satisfy, what not to do in an essay. And then we have checked with an example. Life is a long journey between human being and being humane. I'll just summarize what I've just said. So in this topic is like a journey from being an animal to being an animal with humane qualities. This is the topic. So as I said, you have to give a very catchy or dynamic or dramatic introduction. I started with Ashoka's story. That was my first paragraph. Then I briefed about what is to be expected from the essay, that this is the journey, this is our journey, and I'll be first discussing about the importance of this journey. Then I'll discuss about the roadblocks that we face, and then I'll discuss about the solutions. I wrote like that. Third thing is that then I'm entering into the essay. Before that, I took like 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, before all this, before writing an essay, 15 minutes you can take for planning the essay. You can take 15 minutes. Your actual time, whatever you're getting, is 1 hour 30 minutes for writing an essay, of which 15 minutes will have to be used for planning the essay. As I said, in the first initial 5 minutes, you should come up with a logical flow of the essay. And in the next 10 minutes, within the logical flow, you will develop into multiple perspectives. Fine. This is an time, or roughly a time division that you can follow in an essay. As I said, in the second paragraph, what to expect from an essay. Then the third paragraph is like what is the meaning of this topic actually. The meaning of this topic is that, I've drawn this for you, born as an animal. I've explained all this in the third paragraph. Thereafter, I am expanding each section of my essay, why this journey is important. That is expanded into multiple perspectives with examples and quotes. And again, another perspective, the roadblock, I have expanded with quotes and data and all that. Again, how to overcome the roadblocks. So this is about writing an essay, a meaningful essay, a very important topic that we have discussed. Thank you.